Hey guys, it's Cody Ford here. Just bringing you episode number 3 of our online video series. Now, if you haven't seen episode 1 and 2, go ahead and hop on our website, HawkeyeMarketingSolutions.com, and check out our newly created blog section. There you'll find all the videos posted, so have a look and let us know what you think. So for this week, we're going to talk about return on investment. Are you getting your money's worth? Now, this is kind of a core business concept that a lot of small business owners need to understand. Now, those of you that know me can attest that I'm a very business-oriented person. I've started several successful small businesses and continue to run those. And I also have a formal education. I'm nearing completion of my master's in business administration. And not only that, in my childhood and into my teenage years, I really understood the core concept of buying low and selling high because I did a lot of wheeling and dealing. Now, at that time, I didn't know what profit margins were, but I understood that I needed to buy something cheap and sell it to gain money. So that really brings us into why I am talking about this today. So one thing I noticed is that small business owners really struggle with investing into their online presence because most of the time they just see the expense that, man, I got to pay money out of my pocket to get this done. So I'm hoping that this presentation will kind of help make sense of the whole process and why you need to start investing in your online presence today. Also, the second thing that really compelled me to do this is a lot of small business owners aren't, I want to say, formally educated on business concepts. It's just kind of, this is what they've done, this is what they got into. So I'm hoping that this video will help make sense of a few things that are really important to your small business and can help you grow. So getting right into it, I'll provide kind of it's almost a silly definition of return on investment, or ROI for short, and then we'll get into the actual textbook definition. So I like to think of it like this. So your money is your friend. You've got your money in your pocket, you're friends with it, you don't want to let it go. I mean, it's your best friend. That's what you're in business for, is to get money for you and your family. However, you want to have more friends. So occasionally you need to let some of those friends go away from you and go out and collect more friends and come back and bring those to you. So that way you've got even more friends and more money for your family. Now, I know that's kind of a silly definition. That really helps me visualize it, that you're not just sending money out to disappear, that it's in hopes of bringing a return. Now, I know any investment brings some sort of risk. There is no 100% safe, foolproof investment. And now, when I say investment, a lot of people are thinking stocks, bonds, mutual funds, that type of thing. But in small business, an investment can be in anything, really. I mean, you could talk about hiring more people, getting more equipment or more advanced equipment. And specifically, what we're going to talk about today is your online marketing efforts. Just anything geared towards bringing more money to you in your business is an investment. So now we'll kind of get into the textbook definition. Here we are on investopedia.com. So what is return on investment? A performance measure used to evaluate the efficiency of an investment or to compare the efficiency of a number of different investments. ROI measures the amount of return on an investment relative to the investment's cost. So basically, it's just the profit you gain from putting money into your business. Even gives a nifty little formula here, and you can see it's the gain from your investment minus the cost divided by the cost gives you your ROI. Now, in business, it's very important to be smart about your investments. Now, you might be saying that's common sense, but a lot of times I see people invest in things they didn't really do their research on, and it ends up costing them money instead of bringing back more money. One example I want to bring up, just because I've been noticing this a lot when talking to small business owners lately, is that there's companies out there like Yellow Pages, Yelp, Yext, and the list goes on, that call you and say, hey, we want to get more customers into your business and we want to promote your website. So pay us X amount of dollars per month and we will get you more business. Now it sounds great. It sounds exactly like what I do. However, the return that people are getting seems to be very, very poor. So the example I'm going to bring up is recently I was talking to a company in the area and they were telling me how they were spending $1,500 per month with Yellow Pages and they only got 7 leads out of the entire year. And out of those 7 leads, only 2 of them actually wanted to contact their business. The other 5 had called the wrong number and weren't even looking for their services. So out of those 2 that called, none of them hired this company to complete the services that they offered. So we'll bring up this handy dandy calculator here and just kind of run through the numbers. So $1,500 per month, they got locked into a year contract, so they couldn't get out. Ended up paying $18,000 for online advertisement for the year. Got them 0 customers. So they didn't get a return. They got an $18,000 expense. And I think that is what really scares businesses, is because they don't know who to trust. And that's really where I come in and I help sit down with business owners so they can see that I am an expert, I am a professional, and this is a safe investment. Now, like I said, there is no investment that is 100% risk free, but with the services that I offer, I can guarantee that it's going to be one of the safest investments you've ever made in your life. Now, I'll kind of get off my soapbox and get back on topic here. I think we've kind of come to an understanding of what ROI is. It's just sending money out in hopes of getting more money back than what you put into it. So we'll hop over to this article, which I've mentioned in one of the other episodes, that the #1 position in Google gets 33% of search traffic. So essentially, getting that #1 spot is increasing your potential customer base by over 33%. So to really visualize this and put it into numbers that make sense, I've put together this little spreadsheet right here. And you see acquisition rate and ROI. So acquisition rate, let's talk about that for just a second. That is basically the paying customers that you retain divided by the number of visitors per month. So we'll go through the numbers here real quick. 33% increase in traffic. That's what you're getting by attaining that #1 spot in Google. Current traffic, you're getting 100 visitors per month. That's before anything's been done to rank your website. So with a 33% increase, you can expect to see at least 133 visitors per month. Let's say you have a 5% acquisition rate. Now that's pretty generous, but for the sake of numbers, we'll go with it. So 5% acquisition rate. That means at your current traffic, 100 per month, you're getting 5 customers per month off of your website. You take that #1 spot and get 133 visitors, you're looking at 6.65 customers gained per month. Now you might be thinking 6.65, that looks a little weird. I can't retain 65% of a customer. And I agree with you, but in the long run, this is going to make sense. So the point being is that taking that #1 spot at 100 visitors per month beginning, you're going to get an additional 1.65 customers per month. Now, I think I've said per month enough times. So let's jump into the yearly totals so this makes more sense. So you can see here the yearly total of 60 customers. That's based on the 100 visitors per month at a 5% acquisition. That's going to get you 60 customers per year from your website. Now, if you jump into that #1 spot, you're going to see an almost 20 additional customers per year. So 79.8. We'll round it up to 80 just for the sake of easy math. So taking that #1 spot is getting you an extra 20 customers per year. Now, if you're looking at something like Walmart or whatever, where the average, dollar spent per customer is like $10, yeah, that's not going to seem like a whole lot. But we're talking about local service businesses, things like roofing, carpet cleaning, that type of thing where the average job is going to bring a little bit more profit than a traditional brick and mortar point of sale store. So let's say we're jumping into, building custom decks, just for the sake of an example. The average profit from a job is $3,000. Now it might be more, it might be less, but just for the sake of numbers, we'll roll with it. So 3,000 bucks. That's after the bills are paid, the service has been provided, the building materials have been paid for. You're bringing home 3 grand in your pocket per job. So from your website, based on the 60 customers per year, you're getting $180,000 just from your website traffic. Now you take that number one spot, you bump up to 80, you're getting $240,000 just from your website. That's an increase of $60,000 per year. Now, I don't know about you, but I could use an extra 60 grand in my pocket per year. That sounds awesome. A lot of people might be thinking now, yeah, that's great. I love that increase in money per year, but I don't know how to get my website to the number one spot. So there's two things you can do. You can spend a lot of time and effort learning the process and then actually spending the time doing it, which that's going to eat into your profits as well because, that's time that you could be providing your service and getting more customers. Or you're going to hire someone like me to do it for you. And that jumps back to what I mentioned at the beginning of this episode is that a lot of small business owners see that expense of hiring someone to do this and it scares them. So let's kind of dig a little bit deeper into this to help you understand that investment you have to put into getting your website ranked shouldn't scare you, it should excite you. So let's say I've done the research, I've looked into your industry and in your market and seen what it's going to take to get your website to that number one spot. And I've determined that it's not going to be an easy task. There's some competition out there that has done some work to their site, but it's not going to be the hardest thing in the world. So it's going to come out to be $1,000 a month to get your site ranking in that number one spot. Now, $1,000 a month, that just seems to be that number that really terrifies business owners. I mean, heck, if someone came to me and said, you're going to be taking on a $1,000 expense per month, I wouldn't be too happy about it. But that's really the point of this whole episode is to really drive home that when you're looking at your online presence and showing up better in Google search rankings, you can't think of it as an expense. It's an investment. And I'm going to show you right now with these numbers that we've pulled up here why you need to start thinking of it as an investment and not an expense. So at $1,000 per month, that's a $12,000 a year investment. Scary, right? However, you're looking at a gain of 60,000 per year. That's based on all this information I've provided here. Every business is going to be different. Some might be more, some might be less. And this number right here, $1,000 a month, that's really kind of a liberal number I've thrown out there. Oftentimes it can be much less than that. But I felt like $1,000 is kind of that shock factor. But even at $1,000 a month, right here, you're gaining 60 grand. Your return on investment is 48,000. Now, if someone came up to me and said, if you give me $12, I'll give you 48 in return, that's a no-brainer. I'd do it in an instant. It's just when you get into these bigger numbers, that's what gets a little scary. But you can see here, kind of the whole point of this video is to show small business owners that investing into your website is one of the safest things to do as far as business investments. Because as we know, this is a digital world. Everyone looks on the internet for things. So if you're kind of considering, hiring a business to get your website ranked, I hope this video provided some value to that to really show you the value that you can gain by getting that number one spot. I mean, $12,000 is a substantial amount of money to put into something. But when you're looking at possibly a $48,000 return on investment, that is crazy. I mean, crazy in a good way. So hopefully I was able to kind of present this in a way that makes sense because I know a lot of small businesses, I mean, even me as an online marketer and SEO company, I get calls from SEO companies offering their services and I don't know who they are. So just do some due diligence if you're looking into this. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those for you. So you can jump on our website, give me a call, write me an email. Or if you're kind of one step further beyond questions and you're actually actively looking for someone to do this for you, I'd be more than happy to provide you a quote to kind of show you the kind of investment that you're going to have to make and what you can hope for in return. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. We've got more great content coming at you geared towards helping you and your small business grow.